Now, all this time in the surah, we have been talking about the comments on the shirk and the invented gods. To give an exemplary example and to give an history of a pioneer in this field. To be very frank, the first of its pioneer who has addressed this idol worship and did everything in his lifetime to bring out people from the idol worship is Ibrahim alayhi salam. So whenever this Quran talks about this topic of idol worship, then Ibrahim alayhi salam is the hero for that. And Allah now tries to elaborate more and gives lessons for Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to us about the efforts that Ibrahim alayhi salam has taken to refute this idol worship during his lifetime, the first of its kind that world has ever seen. That certainly we gave Musa alayhi salam, we have وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ رُشْدَهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ وَكُنَّا بِهِ عَالِمِينَ. And verily we gave to Ibrahim alayhi salam rushdahu, his guidance. He got the maturity of guidance. That is also rushdahu. Is also a translation being given from before. We were about him well acquainted, well knowing. Allah is telling that we are well knowing about the capabilities and the skills and the challenges and the targets that has been given to Ibrahim alayhi salam. Right from his young age, he has to counter his father, who is a person who makes idols and sell it on the shops. And he said, when he said to his father, a lesson comes from this. Dawa, generally, we tend to do it outside of our home to some XYZ people or preferably to non-Muslims. But here, Ibrahim alayhi salam is a pioneer. He starts his dawa right from his home. His home is the first addressees of his Islamic message. He starts with his own father and he tries to counter him and trying to pinpoint the mistake that he is trying to do. When he said to his own father and his people, referring to his family, what are these statues that you are making, which you to it are devotedly obedient? Why you are doing it? What is the logic behind doing the statues and then worshipping it? You yourself are making it. Then how do you believe that it is having power? They said, we found the only reason that people do this is because their ancestors were doing. That's all. There's no other logic. Even today, the people who do it quotes the same reason that the same Azar, the father of Ibrahim Islam, is quoting. We found our forefathers to it or worshippers. And now Ibrahim Islam said, he said, verily you and also your forefathers are in error clear. So he is trying to profess some other social point that has to be brought out. Then the people said, have you come to us with the truth? What you are talking about? All this for generations we have been doing this idol worship. Then why all of a sudden you are trying to counter us, or have you come with some other principles? Have you come with us? You come to us with the truth, or you are playing with us? Or of you, those who play? He said, nay, your Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. Not the statues is your Lord, but the Lord of the heavens and the earth, the one who created them. I am of that to be among the witness. I am witness to it. I believe that the Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. Then he says, and by Allah, I promise on Allah, I will make a plan against your idols after you go away, turning your backs. We know what has happened. People have been going to festival and for celebration. And Ibrahim alayhi salam has retained himself in his home. And he said, send them a warning message and I will surely make a plan. This is a strategy that I want to make you to practically understand. All this time I have been talking, but now I want you to practically understand. I will make some plan so that you will understand the logic that I am trying to talk about. And the famous incident that we know, so he made them into pieces. So the same, the idols, he made all small idols into pieces except the large one. And of them, so that they may come to it and return and ask this big idol. So he broken all the small idols that was there. They said then after celebration, the people came back to that worshipping place. They were shocked to see all the idols got damaged. Now they said, "Who has done this to our gods? Verily, he should be among the wrongdoers." Then people said, "See the kind we heard our youth." This is a time at which, a powerful time at which Ibrahim alayhi salam is doing, that he was a youth, and we know a person, a young chap, who is talking against our idols. We think that he could have done that, and mentions them. He is called Ibrahim. People said that there is a young chap who is talking against his idol worship. He is called Ibrahim. We really doubt that he could have done this to our statues, to our gods. Then people said, then bring him. Then bring him before the eyes of the people so that they may witness. Then Ibrahim alayhi salam came up, and people have dragged him to the court, and they said, "Have you done this to our gods, O Ibrahim?" He said, "Nay, it did it, their chief," referring to the bigger ideal. Please understand, I want to pause this for a while and discuss something on this. In general, whenever this line is being quoted in the sermons, people say that Prophet Ibrahim has got lied. According to Tafsir Tafhim al-Quran, it says that he says that, so ask them if they can speak. This is not a lie that he is doing. Please understand. How come a prophet will speak up a lie? You should have a good honor and good respect for a prophet. No prophet will ever do that. And they said Ibrahim alayhi salam is a strategy that he is trying to use to make people to practically understand the point. And even the people also knows that he is not lying. And he said, but this has done it, biggest of them, this one, referring to the bigger idol. What he intended is to make them realize and confess that their idols were helpless. They themselves could not protect them when they were broken. And how come they could protect the people? It is clear that when a person poses an unreal question, this is for the sake of argument that Ibrahim alayhi salam uses to bring home a fact that the other party is untenable and it cannot be considered as a lie. And you should have a good opinion about prophets. Firstly, the speaker himself knows that never intended to do a lie. Second is even the people who hears them also know that it is not a lie. And this is a trick or strategy that he is trying to use to drive home an important message to a larger audience. All this time he has been talking inside his family, but nothing is turning up. So he has to go to public and convey this message to a larger audience. So he devises a plan, a strategy to convey this message to the entire town. So that's how he made this logic and strategy. And this is what he said. So he said, ask this bigger idol if they can speak. So they returned to themselves, referring to they returned to themselves and said, verily you are the wrongdoers. We understand that you only have done it. Then they were turned on their heads, which means they could put down their heads because they could not speak and answer to the question, stunning question that Ibrahim alayhi salam is asking. Certainly, you know, and they said, you know, that these idols cannot speak. They themselves, in order to drive out this word from them, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam uses and says that, and the bigger idol has demolished it. Now, he takes this lead and then starts trying to convey the message of Islam to the people around and said, do you worship besides Allah what not can benefit you anything? These idols cannot benefit you anything, nor it can harm you. Then why you want to worship them? Are you leaving Allah? Uffil lakum, uff to you, which means a low. Your logic stands very low. And to what you worship besides Allah, afala taqilun, will they not you use reason? Will they not you use your intelligence? Then, whenever a logic Islam is being conveyed, people take it emotionally and take it sensitive and they make it viral. That's what has happened. Instead of understanding the logic that Ibrahim alayhi salam had had conveyed, people become very sensational, and people become, and the king who was there, and the priest and all them, as trying to make it a sensational, and said he has spoken something bad about your gods. So they said, Harrikuhu, burn him, referring to Ibrahim alayhi salam, and support your gods if you are doers. Then people become sensational, and we know what has happened. They made uh, a big burning fire, and where they want to put down Ibrahim alayhi salam, and they did it also. But Allah said, Kulna, we said to the fire, Ya Naru Kuni Bardan Salam ala Ibrahim. O fire, be cool and safe for Ibrahim alayhi salam. For 40 days or so, Muslim says that he was inside the furnace for 40 days, but still nothing has happened to him. He walked out flying colors after end of the day, and then he started his greater mission, and that's where he went to all other places of the world to convey and to establish the headquarters of Islam, which is now today we find those results, which is greener even today. And we said, O fire, be cool and safe for Ibrahim alayhi salam. And they intend for him a plan, but we made them the greatest losers. And we delivered him, which means we saved Ibrahim alayhi salam from such a difficult situation of his lifetime. Not only him, and also Lut, to a land which we had blessed in it for the worlds. I mean today the Gulf country, where he was roaming around to convey the message of Islam to larger audience and to the world's message. Wahabna lahu, not to support his adventure, not to support his mission, we bestowed for him Ishaq alayhi salam, and after Ishaq alayhi salam, his son Yaqub alayhi salam. Nafila as an addition, he says, Allah says it's an additional that we have given to him. وَكُلًّا جَعَلْنَا صَالِحِينَ. Allah himself says that, gives certificate. All of these guys, right from Ibrahim alayhi salam, Lut alayhi salam, Ishaq alayhi salam, see the kind of legacy that he is leaving behind. Not only he ensured that his cousin, his son, his grandson, everybody is on the track of Islam and conveying the message of Islam to the people around. And he said, everybody. And he made the entire family becoming subservient to Allah and becoming the good practitioners of Islam. And we made them righteous. Not only they are righteous personally on themselves, they themselves become a world leaders. That world could admire and take inspiration till date. As I kept repeating, the entire world religions can be divided into two classification. One is Abrahamic religion, another is non-Abrahamic religion. Big chunk of people, world population knows his name. It all starts off from the sacrifice that he has started doing for the cause of Islam, and we made them the leaders, the world leaders. They could guide not on their own but by our command, and we inspired to them doing good deeds. And immediately after understanding Islam, this is something that is expected from a Muslim, and that too from a Salihin, is doing a lot of good deeds and establishing prayer and giving zakat. And they were offers abidin, or worshippers. And to Lut alayhi salam, we gave him judgment, hukman, ilman, and a knowledge. And we saved him from the town which was doing wicked deeds, which we have explained many times before. And we admitted him, though the entire city was doing sin, he has saved himself from he was admitted in our mercy. Verily, he is also among the righteous ones. And with regard to Nuh alayhi salam, and when he called from before, so we responded to him the call. So we saved him and his family from the affliction great, referring to the big drought that was happening, big flood that was happening on his city. And we helped him from those who denied our signs. Verily, they were a people who are evil, so we drowned them altogether. I think with that we can wind up for the day. Inshallah, we'll continue the rest of the portion. Inshallah, on